Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, we praise the judge of truth. Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, we praise the judge of truth. Begin with Psalm 121. Esai enai el ha'arim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai u'seshamayim ba'aretz. Al yiten lamot raglecha, al yanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. I lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way, your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian, he is your protection at your right hand. Can you turn that down a little bit, please? Anybody, just if you see him, send him over here. Because we're starting to feedback, and I'm not the only one talking, so we don't want feedback. Just turn it down a little bit, please. Thank you very much. Thanks. Yeah, it might be louder. Right. Okay, so. Yeah, my wife tells me when I'm too loud, but she's not here. So I leave it to all you. Right, just turn it down a little bit, please.
Is it better?
Yeah, he'll take care of it. I'm not sure if it's better or not, but he'll take care of it. Yeah, it was just buzzing. We just don't want any feedback. Hello. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian. He is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not strike thee by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. He will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. And together let us recite in the English the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We have many family members who will eulogize our dear Reena, and we begin with her brother Hal.
Thank you.
Hello, family and friends. Thank you for the love you all show by being here, remembering Reena, our sister, mother, aunt, grand, and great-grandmother, friend and loving wife, and companion to Edward. To all of her caregivers, both immediate family and medical team, thank you for the quality of life you help to provide. You are the difference makers. We all have our memories and personal stories, and we are better people for knowing her. Please share with each other. For me, the book with Sis started hours before I was born. A few years ago, Reena wrote me about that. The men of the Zavarsky house, Dad and Big Brother Bob, had just left for Northern Ontario, Canada, on the annual summer fishing trip that Mom begged off at the last minute, having a stomachache. Gone for 2 weeks with no phone service in the wilderness, what possibly could go wrong? Well, my sister Reena wrote me, I remember that night very well, sitting on Mom's bed with phone book. Remember phone books? Calling doctor to find someone to deliver you. She never saw a doctor. Dr. Taylor was willing to do it with no prenatal care. Then I had to call a cab, and the driver was not excited when he heard she was in labor. A year later, Ron was easier. Just called Dr. Taylor again. Dr. Taylor said, that's it, no more. Can't remember where I got the money to pay the cab driver. Do know that I took public transportation home. Very well worth it. Thanks, sis. A couple of months later, sis is about 16 years old. She takes me on the bus going for a doctor's visit. She remembers being first happy and proud doing this, but then she sees all the passenger faces and hears the whispers as she is mistaken as an unwed teenage mother. So way back, I'm indebted to sis, of which she has reminded me on every possible occasion. Now I'm a teen, Q in the 60s in a black and white TV world, with no easy answers to my situations or questions. No cell phones, computers, or Google for help. But I count myself lucky to have a sister to solve life's mysteries. How do you talk to a girl? What do you do with a yucky pimple? My fingers don't move. Is my hand broken? Time and time again, Big Sis would come through, even as she took pleasure in squeezing your cheek with her fingernails to pop the pimple. Love wasn't up for discussion. We were family. You helped. Pimple, broken bones, broken heart, lost your compass and can't find your way. Reena was always the go-to sister for me. One visit in the early Chesterland years, I found Sis with a new short haircut. Her face was beaming, smiling as she talked about a good friend and fellow Civil War reenactor who told her she was a, quote, Rubens girl with her soft, elegant, round figure. Rubens was a Flemish classical painter and Reena was on cloud 9. Over time, as her own children grew, marriages happened, great-grandchildren arrived, Reena morphed into becoming the matriarch of the extended family. She was the good listener. She provided the emotional support, the wisdom gained from a life not without her own hardships. She had empathy and was very generous with her time for family and community. And she earned respect for the volunteer work and fundraisers. And with all her commitments, she would make time for others, not asking for anything for herself. Your family needs a house to buy or sell, you make it happen. Big family discount. Your football team plays in minus 19 degrees weather and you want to be with your family, you join them. You put newspapers in your shoes and you deal with the frozen hot chocolate and the sad, frigid walk home. Another losing season. Your family needs you in Indiana, in Florida. You drop whatever you're doing, and if you're Reena, you go. You get invited personally by a about-to-be 2-year-old to attend her birthday party. You go, even when told by the 2-year-old what to bring as a birthday present. A big jug of Pepsi. You get it. Road talk. Years ago, Reena and I drove thousands of miles, did a bunch of flights, and on that gave us opportunities to share several stories, chatting with almost anything on the table open for discussion. It was entertaining. Let me share one delight. Did you know that the first time that she watched Disney's Peter Pan, she identified with that nymph fairy Tinkerbell? Seriously. That cute, talented, loyal, mischievous, sweet, misguided on occasion, stubborn, loving spirit. Wow. To a T, I thought. My sister is Tink. And I imagined that all of us were Peter Pan to her. We were Peter Pan. Privately, I called her Tink, and on occasion I would share Peter Pan Tinkerbell quotes with Reena. A favorite Tinker quote she liked. Laughter is timeless. Imagination has no age. Dreams are forever. Tinker also gave us, when life makes you cry 100 times, you have to smile 1,000 times. This way, you will be able to overcome your sorrow and be happy forever. I'll leave you with my favorite. Tink talking to Peter. You know that place between sleep and awake? That place where you still remember dreaming? That's where I'll always love you, Peter Pan. That's where I'll be waiting. Love you, Tink.
To those words spoken as a prayer, let us say Amen. Keith, would you please come forward? Thanks.
Can't see. First, I want to thank everyone for coming today. On behalf of Debbie, Steve, adopted Lisa, we're all grateful that you had the opportunity to get to know Mom and to support all of us today. Thank you. So 13 months ago, I didn't have the courage to stand in front of this crowd of friends and family to talk about my dad. I asked Rabbi Matt to present my thoughts. After a less than stellar reading, this time I decided to do it myself. Just kidding. I do appreciate it.
I wasn't listening.
You can watch it on YouTube tomorrow. Over the last 15 months, Mom has taught me what courage is. She taught me that perception is not always reality. She taught me how to be better at being on time. Unfortunately, I probably don't have enough years left to shake my reputation, so Canner time will live on. She taught me how to battle and minimize the neediness of someone going through a fight for life. Growing up, I have some sparse memories of Mom being a housewife, a mother, and a trendsetter for women as she stepped into the working world. Dad was a pharmacist that worked long hours to provide for us in our modest Cleveland Heights home. For whatever reason, Mom decided to become a sales lady for the hottest new thing in the market. No, it wasn't a Kirby or the Filter Queen. It was Tupperware. Mom got so good at selling that she even got a company Tupperware car. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But I think that only wet her whistle. She was social and driven, which would lead her to be involved in Women's American Org, Chester Chamber of Commerce, Chesterland Rotary, Chester Zoning Board, and many other business and civic organizations. She and Dad designed and built their home on Sperry Road in the late 1960s, and in her heart, she would never leave Chesterland. 3 weeks ago, I began installing a mailbox. I explained to her I didn't think it made sense to spend $400 a year for both of us to have post office boxes. My box rent was due, and I was done with paying for picking up the mail at the post office. A long conversation ensued, and since her rent was not due for a couple months, she continued to insist that she wasn't interested in letting go of the last attachment she had to the township, Post Office Box 71. She definitely would not have relinquished control of that box, I'm certain of. She was dedicated to the community. She was also loyal to her commitment of working in voting booth on election days, and it broke her heart to give that up shortly before moving to Aurora. All of the things she did while being a successful and devoted realtor. She knew how to sell, and her clients loved her, as exhibited by their words and being repeat customers, and her greater than 40 years in the business. She achieved multiple positions in many regional, county, and national business organizations. So backtrack to my previous comment about perception and reality. I couldn't see reality until about 4 years ago. I thought Mom was staying busy with all of these activities for herself. I now no longer believe that. I know that Mom was active because she enjoyed taking care of others, especially Dad. Under the surface, whether consciously or subconsciously, that was her agenda. She could supplement what Dad was providing by doing what she loved doing. It was easy for her, and she enjoyed it. There are too many stories to tell, and I'm sure there will be others shared by other family members and friends as we talk later and in the future. So once again, I fast forward to 2019 when Dad's Parkinson's began to progress. Mom took on a much larger role of caregiver. It really wasn't easy for her to watch the love of her life begin to fade, but she didn't let it show. Once they moved to assisted living, COVID took away any social activities, but they stuck it out, and I began to witness what the true love they had for each other. All the years of traveling on vacations, social activities, captains' games, Browns games, Indians games that we shared, I knew they were in love. However, it was never as obvious to me as much as when Dad needed her. I was now seeing the reality of their loving relationship. Since Dad's passing last year, Mom and I have had a lot of time together that will be cherished and never forgotten, forever. We had conversations at home at all times of the day and night, while riding in the car, going to doctor's appointments, and those were all opportunities otherwise non-existent. Many times Moms would tell me that she saw Dad, or that she talked to him here, there. I listened, and when she was done, I would tell her that the next time she saw him, I'd appreciate it if he would stop in, or that she should invite him for dinner. It was at that point that I would get her signature eye roll. We all knew it so well. But through it all, difficult as I knew that struggle was, she continued to fight because she wasn't ready to go. We stayed positive and encouraging as we could talk with setbacks along the way. When I would ask her how she was feeling, her most common response was, "I'm okay." Positivity and encouragement eventually changed to "better than yesterday," which I would follow up with, "but not as good as tomorrow." Another eye roll. She usually wouldn't tell us if something wasn't normal because she would say, "I didn't want to bother you." Truthfully, as I look back, I think she just wanted to be with Dad more than she was letting on. After 70 years of marriage and being without him for 1 year, I think she was missing him even more than she thought was possible, and her heart was broken. But she still continued to fight. Tuesday night before I left her, she told me, "I think I'm going to meet your father sooner than I thought." Her mind remained sharp, and she was right again. I relied on her to help me with my inability to stay focused and remember what tasks I was doing or who I was supposed to be calling and for what. I do suffer from CRS, and she was there to help me with that. Again, with a patented eye roll. I would apologize and thank her, and we would laugh. Now, without her as my go-to, I'll be a little bit more exasperated as I look up and ask for her to help me while I wait for an answer. Don't be a stranger, Mom. Come home anytime. And bring Dad with you. As I had an opportunity to discuss with her my early fire training, I'll be transmitting and waiting for her to acknowledge the message. Thank you, Mom, for the courage
I love and miss you. And in Dad's word, forever.
Let us say amen. Danny, would you come forward?
No, this is
A granddaughter coming forward to speak.
Okay, I can do this.
You can, just breathe.
Thanks. I can't read.
Oh, well, that's
All right, we're good.
just take your time. Just take your time.
I will get through this. They say that funerals, speeches, reminiscing of stories, and even tears are for the living, that it brings comfort to those left behind. I have enough stories and tears that could probably comfort every single one of you for many years to come. I just want to reminisce about a few things that my Gram loved most in her life. She loved anything water, cruises, jacuzzis, beaches, anything but actually drinking it. When I would remind her to drink water, I would get the look of death, and I swear she was ready to throw it at me. The only one who could remind her to drink water, and it was okay, was Ashton. It was their thing, random messages of, "Are you drinking enough water today? Have you had your water?" It was just their thing. Real estate. Man, did my Gram know how to sell you a home. It could be 4 sticks, and you would pay thousands of dollars for it. It was just what she did. Then there's the musicals. She would give up her left arm for a Broadway show with her grandkids and her great-grandkids. Phantom, Les Mis, our personal favorite, dressing in our very, very best for the Nutcracker. Doll houses. I remember spending many days in that doll room, watching her intricately paint and place figures in a dollhouse that she still had to the very last day. When I was younger, it looked much larger than what it is at 38 years old. We laid wallpaper room by room and always fought over who had the better idea for what room. When I say our ideas of decor did not align, it's not a joke. And I always lost. Then there is family. But all of us gathered here today to celebrate her life knows family was her number one. It is said that there is a lot of last good days. When the pain for a moment seems so bearable, you forget anything is wrong. The trouble is you don't know when your last day is. My grandma got several last good days. I am fortunate to have been there for most of them. Maybe not in person like I had wanted, but thankfully we have phones, and I made sure that I dedicated more time to her than I had in the past. Time that would become my precious and cherished memories. I am fortunate that I was able to make more memories, no matter how big or small. I am fortunate that I got more laughs. I got to witness the love she has for my daughter. And I am fortunate that she blessed me with more time. These are all things that I cannot put a price tag on. Things that I will forever cherish and carry with me. I am fortunate that I was able to give my daughter the unconditional love of a great-grandmother, and for a while, a great-grandfather. Grandma had love for everyone. In true Canner form, she didn't always express it the way one would deem fit. But my God, did she love her grandkids and her great-grandkids. I just wish that we all had more time. I wish I had more time. Shortly after her passing, I received a call that my classes for college would begin at the end of the month. I had promised her when I enrolled in college, she would be the first person to know every step of the way. I hung up and immediately picked up the phone to call her. It took me all of about 5 seconds to realize 2 things. I could call her and she wouldn't answer, and hearing her voicemail would be my end all. Or that she already knew. I'd give up everything to have my Gram back. Well, I guess if we're talking about miracles, I'll take both Grandma and Poppy. Since I know it would be selfish, I'll be okay for just 1 more hour. One more hour to crawl in bed with her and Poppy, squeeze my way into the middle and make him scratch me and cuddle her. One more hour to discuss real estate, Disney, one more coffee date. I'd take anything. The one thing that she loved beyond measure, more than anything in existence, was Poppy. He was her every thought, her every moment in life. And compared to him, nobody in this room would ever match up. I find peace in knowing that they are together again and can enjoy the rest of their afterlife making each other crazy. My saddest part is that I won't be able to witness it. I know their embrace was magical, and they are enjoying a glass of scotch together and arguing over what to do next. They both took pieces of my heart that I will never be able to get back. I am forever changed. I miss phone calls, nonsense laughs about absolutely nothing, Chinese food out the nose. I miss being able to kibitz. That was her favorite word. We all called her Just Gram, and to me, she was my Gram. She was so much more than just a just. Hug my Poppy and pull my Carrie Graham's ears for me and visit me in my dreams. Sorry.
And let us say amen. So we gathered this morning to pay tribute to the life of your dear Reena Canner. Her Hebrew name, Rachel Bat Leib. Rachel means a little lamb, and she was cute, like a little lamb, for so long. It's a time of sadness as we lovingly recall her life and her deeds. She was almost 90 years old, so people talk about a celebration of life well lived. That's true. However, first and foremost, it's just sad and missing her. And you can turn off your phone or set it to stun. I put mine to do not disturb. So nobody knows you're here. You know you're here. You might want to turn your phone. She was a blessing to those lives she touched, and she was generous, and she was caring, and she was loving. In this week's Torah portion, we're in the book of Numbers, and our ancestors are schlepping through the wilderness. And at this point, God instructs Moses to tell his older brother Aaron in Numbers chapter 8, when you mount the lamps of the menorah, the 7-branch menorah, when you mount the lamps, let the 7 lamps give light in front of the lampstand. And so what does this mean? The lamps should give light at the front. It's a reminder of your dear Reena, all right, your Just Gram, your mom, your sister, your great-grandmother, your relative, your friend. She said she shed light in front of you to show you the way. She was the light of your life. And she shed light upon many other people as well, through her love and through her deeds. She made many worthy contributions to God's world. She shed light in her individual interactions and in her family interactions. And when she kibitzed with you, it's a great Yiddish word. We talked about the word meshugana. Meshugana means crazy. Every family has a meshugana family. Every family. But she really shed light through her interactions. And things have not always been easy. And there are still stresses and strains. And there are uncomfortable periods of time. So this is a good time to let the light in, to shed light like she shed light. Shed light of comfort and healing. And let us especially shed light, even in the shadow of this tremendous loss. Reena Zabarsky was born in Cleveland. October 22nd, 1933, her parents of blessed memory were Louis and Elizabeth. She was the eldest of 9 children, back when people still had that many kids. The first 6 are all of blessed memory now. Reena, Myrna, Joanne, Robert or Bob, Carolyn, Gara. And she's survived by Eileen, Hob, and Ron. Reena met Ed Canner because she was dating Ed's best friend. This is a long time ago. And she realized Ed was a better guy than that guy. So she started going out with Ed. Reena and Ed married. It was April 16th, 1952. They eloped to South Bend, Indiana, took a train and eloped. And then they turned around and came right back. And on April 20th, 1952, they had a good Yiddish or Jewish ceremony at the house of Rabbi David Ganuth. They shared a loving and devoted marriage of 70 years. This must sink in. 70 years. So many blessings. And what's the secret? Well, when Ed died last year, the kids said, and Reena agreed, the secret was whatever Reena wanted, Reena got. And she wore the pants in the family, they said, so to speak. They were blessed with abundance of friends and relatives and family. And I am going to try to read all the family that I have. All right, 4 children, 5 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren. If I mispronounce and miss somebody, it was on purpose that somebody was missed. Not by accident. Just serious, don't worry about that. All right, so children, Debbie, husband Tom, Steve, wife Ruth, Keith, Lisa, husband Jay. And the grandchildren, Matthew, Megan, Leisha, Bradley, Danny. Matthew, Leah, Megan, Justin, Leisha, Rob. Danny, Ben. And then the great-grandchildren, 8 of them. Jude, Sloan, Zoe, Landon, Layton, Harper, Ashton, Cole. And here are some reminiscences from great-grandchildren. Layton. I'm going in age order, I think. Layton. Graham, rest in peace. I love you so much, and forever will, even if you aren't here with us anymore. This all still doesn't feel real. I miss your smile. I miss your laugh. I miss seeing your eyes light up. And when we walk through the door, I miss seeing you sitting in your chair watching TV. I'm still trying to convince myself you're still here with us, but it's hard. I just miss everything about you. I hope you and Poppy are in heaven dancing around and laughing together and cracking jokes like how you guys both used to do. You put up a long fight no matter how hard things got. Cancer had no right to take you from us. I loved hearing your stories about our family and the stupid things we did. When Poppy left us, he took a huge piece of my heart with him. And when you left us, you took the rest. I just want you back. My life doesn't feel complete without you. I need you. People tell me it's going to get better, but I don't believe them. How can it get better without my Gran? Every single time I pick out flowers or see flowers, I think of you. Every time I see your favorite things in a store, I think of you. Graham, you're on my mind 24/7. I can't stop thinking about you. I have never, ever met someone so kind and loving. You have the warmest heart ever. I've always loved the movie Ratatouille, and so did Graham. So every time I watch it, I would think of her. I randomly hear your voice, and it comforts me, even though I know I'm just imagining it. I love you. Every night I go to sleep hoping and praying this was all a bad dream. But deep inside me, I know this isn't a bad dream. It's just a bad reality show that I'm living in. I hope and pray when I fall asleep you come to see me and I can see and talk to you in my dreams. It hasn't happened yet, but I know it will happen soon. I'm going crazy without you. I need you, Graham, and I need you so bad. I just wish I could call you and you could pick up the phone and we could have a real long talk about the world and what's going on in it. I'm trying to stay strong. strong for me, for everyone else around me, and for you. But it's hard, Graham. It's still very hard. I don't know how much longer I can hold up without almost crawling into a ball and shutting myself out from the world. Your death broke me. I know you would want me to be happy and see me succeed in life, so that's what I'm going to do for you. I know my mom is hurting so much, more than me, so I'm going to try so hard to keep her happy. I know you would want that. I would do absolutely anything to have you here with me or to have even 5 more minutes. Gosh, I miss you more than anything. I love you, Graham, forever and ever, to the moon and back. Or as Poppy used to say, only a little bit. Harper, you were so happy when my family came to surprise you. You were so happy to see my family, but I always thought you were a little sad because sometimes my dad couldn't come. When I came into the room, and I would always ask if I could go on your wheelchair, and I would always run into something. When I came into the living room, I loved talking to you and sitting by you, and I know you love talking to me and hanging out with the family and me. People love seeing you, and I love to see you too and see how good you were doing and feeling. I love seeing you, and when you talk to me, I love listening to you tell me stuff. When I was younger, you loved taking care of me, and we took pictures together. When I wanted to go on the wheelchair, I asked you, and I think you loved watching me on it. You were so nice to me, and you loved me so much, and I know you loved everyone in your family. Everybody misses you, and I miss you so much, and I know you miss your family too, but you are in a better place now, and I miss you so much. And Ashton, I don't know where to start. I miss you so much. I miss texting you and telling you, did you drink water today? Or just calling you and hearing your voice. I miss it all. I know we weren't as close as I wanted due to how far away Mom and I are, but when I was out here, we made so many memories and had so many laughs and even cries. And I will remember these moments forever. I promise to fulfill all the plans that we made with each other. I will make dollhouses, and when I go to Disney, I promise to take you with me. I promise to be my best self, the one you wanted me to be, and the one you always pushed me to be. I love you, Graham, and I hope you're at peace with no more pain and spending all your time with Poppy. Amen. So you have heard how she was active in many community organizations throughout the years, and she had interests like traveling and gardening. And so we have a tie for Disney, right? Because as we heard, she loved Disney and Tinkerbell. And all those Browns games, we've got a Browns kippah. It's a pirated kippah. They don't actually sell them like this. It's an old Cavs kippah, and took the thing off of a ball cap and had somebody sew it on there. So if there are any attorneys here, I don't know, YouTube, as it's being broadcast, right? Don't let the Browns know that I've got this kippah that I'm wearing. Although they probably would appreciate somebody who's a fan. So Reena loved going to the Browns games. The family had season tickets for a long time. Her favorite holidays were holidays when people got together. Lots of people, when the family got together. Thanksgiving she loved. Passover she loved. One of the siblings even thought she loved 4th of July. And she made a good matzo ball soup, but there was a little family argument as we met to talk about her. Did you like it better when the matzo balls floated, or did you like it better when the matzo balls sank? So in the Talmud, that's called a machoket. That's called a disagreement. It was a family disagreement. Just saying. So it's been a difficult 13 months for her and for the rest of the family and the rest of you. She was ill, and she missed Dad terribly. She's been living, as we know, at Keith's. And last Tuesday, she was admitted to Geauga Hospital. And then on Thursday, on June 1st, she breathed her last. That was actually 13 months to the day. He died on May 1st, 2022. She died on June 1st, 2023. That's the day she breathed her last. And now there's no more pain or deterioration. There's just rest and wholeness and peace. Just as Shabbat is a time of rest and wholeness and peace, so too for Reena. Her soul is returning to God and to be with the souls of her dear husband, relatives, friends, and ancestors of our people. We learn this in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 7. The dust returns to the earth as it was. The spirit returns to God who gave it. One day, all of us will join our loved ones in Olam Haba. Judaism doesn't talk about it as heaven. We talk about it as Olam Haba, which means the world to come. And it's an entirely spiritual existence. It's not a place. This is a place. It's an entirely spiritual existence. And during that time, when you go, you'll be together with your dear loved one, your dear loved ones. You have many, many memories of Reena, and we thank God for the gift of this long life. 89 plus years. It seems like, wow, that's really old. It's really old until you're about 89. And so we would have hoped for more, but only in good health. So it's, as you think of her, do things which will bring honor to her memory. Probably what you should do is drink some water. And root for the Browns and watch some Disney films. If not actually going to Disney. But watching the film is a lot less expensive. So try to make your corner of the world a little better and do this in her honor. For only through the deeds which we perform can the world be compensated for her loss. And so we say with tears in our eyes words from the first chapter of the book of Job. Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach. The Lord hath given, the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amen. Ose shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. May God, who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, cause peace to rain down upon us, upon all Israel, and upon the soul of our dearly departed Reena Canner, Rachel Bat Leib, and let us say, Amen. Please rise for the memorial prayer, the El Maleh Rachamim prayer. Into your care, O God, we entrust the spirit of Reena Canner, Rachel Bat Leib. For you keep faith with your children in death as in life. Sustain us that we may meet with serenity the mysteries that lie ahead, knowing that when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you, O God, are with us, a loving friend in whom we put our trust. You are the light of our life, our hope in eternity. El Maleh Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hametzeh Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, Im Kedoshim Utohorim, Kezohar Rakia Mazirim, Et Nishmat Rachel Bat Leib, Shalachal Olama, Baal HaRachamim, Yastivrea B'Seita Kenafav Le'olamim, Vayitzro B'Tzro HaChaim, Et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata, V'tanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkava, v'nomar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our dear Rachel Bat Leib, our dear Reena Canner. She has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. And now we recite the Kaddish prayer for Reena. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ba'alma divrach chirutei v'yamelich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chay lechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kari v'yimur amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmed kudusha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. The translation of the Mourner's Kaddish is, let the glory of God be extolled. Let his great name be hallowed in the world whose creation he willed. May his kingdom soon prevail in our own day, our own lives, and the life of all Israel. And let us say, Amen. Let his great name be blessed forever and ever. Let the name of the Holy One, blessed be he, be glorified, exalted, and honored, though he is beyond all the praises, songs, and adorations that we can utter. And let us say, Amen. For us and for all Israel, may the blessing of peace and the promise of life come true, and let us say, Amen. May he who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us, on all Israel, and all the world, and let us say, Amen. Lech yishilach Adonai, go your way, for God has called you. Lech Adonai ye'imach, go your way, and may the Lord be with you. V'halach lifanecha tzidkecha, kavod Adonai yasvecha. May your righteousness go before you, and may the glory of God receive you. Would everyone here not wearing a mourner's ribbon, please repeat these words after me, speaking them to the mourners. May God console you. With all who mourn. In Zion and Jerusalem. Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch sha'avet Etzion v'Yerushalayim. Now let us go forth in peace to life. The family is gathering at Keith's house. The address is 9685 Cedar Road. And the family will be there. We'll gather for the mourner's meal. We'll gather to mourn, to kibitz, to do a little bit of laughing, to eat. And the family will be there tonight until 7 p.m. and then also Wednesday and Thursday from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We'll say Kaddish at the house, and we'll say Kaddish for Reena for the whole month, for a whole month. Every time we have Friday night services, tonight we're doing a Torah study, we'll say Kaddish for her for a whole month. It'll be our privilege to do so whether any family members are in attendance or not. And finally, the family has asked that if you wish to make donations and remembrances in her loving memory and in Ed's honor also to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research or the American Cancer Society. And if you want to make donations to other places too, think of those places first, and then you can also make additional donations in their loving memory. And this concludes our service here.
On behalf of the family, we thank you for coming and ask friends to return to their cars, please. Thank you.